So, Yuki-san is kind of an interesting one because we almost didn't know about this for a little bit. In fact, a lot of people didn't know until it aired, or footage aired for it on TV just a little bit ago to promote Spirited Away at the time. And apparently most people didn't know about it, and it eventually came out. It's actually on Mubi. But what it was, or what it is, or what it was at the time, I guess, it's a pilot. Well, first, it's a pilot that never really went anywhere. But it was a popular manga that was mainly for girls at the time by Chiba, I guess, sorry, that involves a 10-year-old orphan girl who's adopted into a family. The storyline gets somewhat complex, and if you've watched the short, I linked to it. It's in the description, or it'll have videos before. But if you watch the kind of short of what it is, this is sort of not a full pilot. Now, this is obviously notable because it's Hayao Miyazaki's first time. He's credited solo as a director, not with Isao Takahata, who worked on him with Lupin, the first series of Lupin the Third. But this is, to me, isn't a full pilot. It's sort of like a proof of concept thing, because you get this girl, Yuki, who she is apparently Yuki both means girl and snow in Japanese, I keep reading. I don't know if that's fully true, but let's say it is. And she grows up as an orphan and then is going to be adopted by this rich family. And then the rich family is like arrested for some reason, and the town like hates them. So I'm assuming they did something really bad. But she takes the girl from the rich family, and then they're like walking in the snow, and then they find this guy in a hospital, and he's like, "That's my daughter," and you're like, how do we get here? I don't understand that. Then it's sort of over. It's like 4 minutes. It seems like they condensed a ton of the plot of this into one thing, and tried to pitch it, and it didn't go, and he sort of just moved on and was the animation director he was. The designs and the animation, if you've seen his early stuff like Panda Go Panda, definitely reminds me of that sort of era, or I wouldn't even say as expressive as the Lupin thing. And I kind of think because of the way it is, it reminds me of like that era of him and Takahata, that kind of animation. I sort of think this could have been a cool show, but you don't get really the vibe of this. This feels just like an extended trailer for this show that never happened and never went anywhere. I sort of get why it's not aired a ton, because it's not the coolest, like On Your Mark or other things like feel like complete things. This feels like wouldn't this be cool? And the network was like, no, not at all. I do think it's worth noting because it is the first thing from a legendary animation director, Hayao Miyazaki, and it shows what could have been. But it is like, it's not even really telling a story. It's just like, here's all the lore. We could do this. And it does, like, I was a little surprised, like, people call this a pilot, because this is really just a proof of concept trailer. It's well done, and you get the idea of, like, I fully can picture it. And I think he did a good job with this proof of concept thing. But proof of concept stuff is not fun to watch, and, sometimes it is, but this one wasn't. And it just feels like you're getting, like, a ton of information at once, and then it's done, you're like, okay. And I don't think it, like, really sold the show. I just think it showed you that it could be done, but it didn't make me want it to be done. So I sort of get it to a certain regard. I think he tried the most he could with this, but unfortunately it didn't happen. I sort of get why it's sort of like a footnote and people didn't know about it till it aired on Japanese TV. And it's like this hidden sort of thing. If you're really into Hayao Miyazaki, I recommend you watch it because it's like one of the other things you can watch. If you're only so into him and you're like, I don't know, I'd watch this sorta, I don't think you should watch it. It's not really worth it for you. But I think there's only so many Hayao Miyazaki movies, and if you want like that one little extra thing, it's worth it to say you've seen it. But I seriously doubt you remember much of it other than like, yeah, he made this weird thing or whatever. And it doesn't really amount to much more than that. And from the way it's been treated over the years, I don't think he thinks about it much either. And honestly, after you finish it, you probably think, yeah, why would you?